My name is Sarah Prisk, and this is my strategic plan presentation for Assessment 2. In this unit, we are looking at data-driven decision-making, which, according to Mandanich and Jackson, is a process in which an individual collects, examines, and interprets evidence for the purpose of making a decision. Data-driven decision-making focuses on the identification of a problem, seeking a solution through the use of data or evidence, monitoring the ramifications of the decision, and determining what to do next. Data can be quantitative, which is looking at the variables that can be quantified or counted. Data can also be qualitative, which is the information you get from attempts to understand what is happening through experience. This report looks solely at quantitative data. The school chosen for this presentation is Roebourne District High School. Roebourne is located in the Pilbara region of Western Australia, approximately 1,500 kilometres north of Perth and 40 kilometres east of Karratha. Roebourne District High School is a public school that caters to students from kindergarten to year 12. In 2021, the school had recorded 124 enrolled students, with 98 of those being Indigenous. This school was chosen because of its high Indigenous population and its low attendance rates. An interesting context to note: as Point Sampson and Wickham do not have a high school in their small towns, secondary-aged children living in these areas will often bypass Roebourne District High School as their chosen high school and will attend Karratha Senior High School, despite Roebourne being a closer proximity to their homes. There are three main quantitative data sources being used in this presentation, which help to identify the problem and will guide the strategic plan. The first is the 2020 Close the Gap report. This report aims to achieve equality for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in health, life expectancy, and well-being, with a strong focus on education. This presentation will focus on the attendance goals of the report. The Schools Online and My School websites have information on the school and data on attendance records, enrolment, and the percentage of Indigenous students. These datasets will be analysed and adapted to compare Roebourne District High School to a range of other schools to triangulate the data and observe any patterns or correlations. The data theory model used for this report is Easton's. This model has been selected as it is an effective model for improvement within a school environment, and it is a logical and easy to follow four-step system. Stage 1 of Easton's is to identify the problem. When observing the data on the Schools Online website, it was seen that the attendance rates for Roebourne from 2019 to 2021 appeared to be very low. Upon further comparison with data from the 2020 Roebourne District High School's annual report, the 2017 to 2019 data was comparatively low. This data was then combined and adapted into the table seen here. To make it easier to see the trends of attendance rising and falling, I tabulated a line graph to visualise these movements. You can see from this graph that the attendance rates for Roebourne students were increasing between 2017 to 2019, with a big jump from 2017 to 2018. 2020, however, was the year the COVID-19 pandemic hit, which caused attendance rates to drop in many schools across the country due to its isolation rules and regulations. You can see Roebourne District High School was affected by this. Then, in 2021, there was an increase in attendance rates after COVID restrictions began to ease. The data from the previous analysis has been combined with the data from the Commissioner for Children and Young People of Western Australia's report and formulated into a table to clearly display the data. It is evident that there is a drastic difference in attendance rates between Roebourne and the attendance data for Western Australian and Australian public schools. For the years shown in the data, there is a 47 to 57% difference between the attendance for Roebourne District High School and the state and national attendance data. This outlines a clear issue at hand. Similar to the previous data sets, COVID-19 played a role in school attendance for 2020. To contextualise the issue, I've compared the data from 2019 to 2021 for Roebourne District High School to two other Western Australian public schools. Karratha Senior High School is the closest public school in terms of proximity to Roebourne District High School. Karratha has a large population of 1,230 students in 2021, where 25% of their enrolled students were Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders. Meekatharra District High School is a K-12 school and is similar to Roebourne demographically. In 2021, Meekatharra District High School had 110 students, with 93% of those being Indigenous. When observing the data, there is a 45 to 55% difference between the attendance for Roebourne and Karratha, with Karratha's attendance ranging in the 80%. Karratha has a lower Indigenous student population and their attendance rates map closer to the state and national data than Roebourne District High School. The attendance data between Meekatharra District High School and Roebourne District High School is similar. The biggest difference is in 2020, where the attendance was 17% higher in Meekatharra. Roebourne and Meekatharra are similar schools with a similar Indigenous populations and attendance rates and are both situated in more remote communities. Karratha Senior High School is most similar to the state data for WA public schools. This data portrays a clear attendance issue presented when comparing remote schools to national and state data, as there is less than 50% student attendance each year at Roebourne Senior High School. The 2020 Close the Gap report focuses on bridging the gap between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people. Their focus on attendance derives from the beliefs that poor attendance has negative consequences for achievement in the future. This report states that their goal to close the gap between Indigenous and non-Indigenous students' attendance by 2018 was not met. The 2019 attendance rates for Indigenous students were recorded at 82% compared to 92% for non-Indigenous students. This presents that Roebourne's attendance rates being below 40% implies that they are not meeting the desired standards for attendance. As mentioned in the 2020 Close the Gap report, school attendance is associated with a range of interrelated and complex factors. Other data sources that would be useful in implementing the strategies to help improve the attendance records for Roebourne would be the local elders' voices and perspectives, student and teacher interviews, classroom observations, and any notes attached to absences, such as illnesses, cultural reasons, or any other unidentified reasons. These are factors that could help give an indication as to why the attendance records are so low and what could be the best strategies to improve them. Research states that the Aboriginal population have the worst attendance record of all population groups in Australia. After observing the attendance data for Roebourne District High School, it is clear that this is an issue that the school is facing and it needs an action plan put in place. The action plan will look at classroom pedagogy, incorporating Yanka Porter's 8 Ways theory, developing a culturally responsive teaching pedagogy, and including the local elders in the classroom and school environment. There will be more on this in the next slide. Attendance incentives is also a method I will attempt in the classroom, which is a practice suggested by Purdy and Buckley that encourages the use of incentives and rewards to increase school attendance rates for Indigenous students. These could be physical rewards, such as a small toy or a chocolate, or an activity-like incentive, such as free time or an excursion to the local swimming pool, or a chance to get out on the oval and kick a football. A possible suggestion for a whole school approach that could be recommended to the principal would be a free bus service to pick students up for school in their small remote community. This is a method being used in Aboriginal communities in Cairns. This aids attendance by assisting and encouraging students to come to school. We as teachers need to ensure we are meeting the specific needs of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander children. Yanka Porter's 8 Ways framework is a wonderful guide to best teach for Indigenous students and to develop a culturally responsive pedagogy. The 8 Ways are presented in this figure. While the opportunities are limitless, a few classroom ideas that could be using story sharing through Yarning Circle to discuss a topic and share experiences. Another could be looking at community links, conducting an inquiry research project based on their community and inviting the local elders to engage and aid the learning. By teaching in these ways, students are likely to find that they get more out of school, and by engaging them in learning, it will hopefully increase attendance rates. Stage 3 and 4 are the future stages, which would look at the impact these strategies are having and observing their effectiveness. This would mean continuously looking back on the data to monitor progress over weeks, months and years, looking for any signs of improvement. If these strategies are going well, they could be implemented beyond the classroom setting and could be suggested to be put in place on a whole school scale. If the strategies are not working, it is important to go back to the stages 1 and 2, reassess the data and come up with more effective solutions. In conclusion, research and data have been able to indicate that there is a clear attendance issue at Roebourne District High School and many similar schools across Australia. It is our job as teachers to plan for change and do our best to use data-driven decision-making models and theories and use different culturally responsive teaching pedagogies to do our best to make a difference. Thank you.